Hi, I'm Jean Schumacher. I'm founder of Simply Plant Based, where I have a lot of resources to help you live plant based. Also, if you want to live toxic free, I can help you out there too and guide you on that journey. And tonight I have the pleasure and privilege of interviewing Angela Fischetti. She is a physical fitness and yoga instructor and massage therapist. But can you come to my house? What time?
Okay, I'm coming over.
But she specializes in wellness for older adults. And she's got a website called boomerandbeyondwellness.com. So thank you so much for taking the time to be with me here tonight.
Thank you, Jean, for having me here. Believe me, it's my honor. Thank you very, very much.
Well, share with us your journey, your story. How did you realize plant-based living is where it's at?
It began a long time ago, and it
In
began
land far, far away?
a land far, far. Yes, it was actually up in Long Island and then in Brooklyn, New York. And I'm currently in South Beach in Miami Beach. But it began with a cat, and that cat's name was Honey Bunny. And Honey Bunny lived with me for 20 years, and it was through my relationship with her that I learned about what was just and right in the world. So I'm going to fast forward a bit to about 1986-87, where a friend told me there's a book you should read called Diet for a New America by John Robbins. I did, and I looked at Honey Bunny one day and I said, I love you so much, how can I eat other animals? So I became vegetarian, eventually became vegan. In the following years, I got married, divorced. I became a personal fitness trainer in 1990 in Brooklyn Heights in Eastern Athletic Clubs. I was vegan, and it was a very, very interesting time period to be a female personal trainer and to be vegan. I used to go and hide in the gym, which was like 75,000 square feet, to eat, because I didn't want the people gawking, asking me questions, because frankly, I didn't know very much. I just knew this was right for me, and my ethics is what kept me on path with that. Now, this said, doesn't mean I wasn't back and forth with the pleasure trap of vegetarian foods. And it happened, Jean, every time there was some sort of a crisis in my life. And it would resurge, divorce, death, that kind of thing, big move down here. And ultimately, it took me to a health challenge that I discovered and found out I had a lot of different issues concurrent. And it was this that made me go, yeah, I'm not going into this vegetarian, vegan thing. I am staying vegan. But what I did was I discovered Chef AJ, Sofas Free. And I know you know Chef AJ well and her work. And also Dr. Frank Sabatino. And because I had some serious pathologies that I reversed, I still have existing issues, but it's through the whole food plant-based lifestyle. And I do call it a lifestyle because I embrace infrared saunas, castor oil packs, aromatherapy, sound therapy, light therapy, all of it. Big time for me, most of all, is weightlifting, doing yoga, and doing cardio. And for my cardio, what I do is I rebound, and I wear 1 pound wrist weights. I take 45-minute walks on the beach wearing a 9-pound weighted vest. I don't advise people do this unless they've had a scan of their bone density, because one of the issues that I had was osteoporosis, and I was told it was the osteoporosis of a 90-year-old. I am no longer have osteoporosis. I'm age-appropriate osteopenic, and this protocol is why. But also it's regarding, I was diagnosed with subclinical hypothyroid. No longer am. I had awful blood work, which is all just, so much so, it's so fantastic that when I had a recent session with Dr. Sabatino, he was like shaking his head and he's going, It's almost unbelievable. I'm 63. I had almost a fist size cyst on my right ovary. I got rid of it. I still have other stuff, Jean. I'm not saying that I'm not without my challenges, but I'm telling you this lifestyle works, and I have an enormous commitment and compassion for it, and to spread the word to my clients. My clients, they all know about having smoothies for their greens, because some of them can't digest the greens, and my clients are all about 68 up to 94. It's a beautiful way to live. That's how I see it. And I've had cats. I've been devoted to cats my whole life for 43 years. And that's how I see it, you know.
All right. Well, Dr. Sabatino, he is a walking encyclopedia of knowledge.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I did a 10-day water fast with him. So you know that with 10-day water fast, you have to be there. He already knew I was sophist free. So he said 2 days juicing for you. Then the 10 days of the water fast. Then there was like about a 4.5 day of refeeding. So it was 16 days. I was warned that I was a fraction away from being diagnosed with uterine cancer. My uterine lining was extremely thick. So I have 2 other cysts on the left ovary that are still there. They're the size of a grapefruit. I was hoping that the water fast would get rid of the cysts. It didn't. However, what it did do is, because 1 week to the day when I came home from the water fast, I had scans done and 33% down with the thickness of the uterine lining. Exactly wow. It was really wow. And of course, with that's right. Happy dance time, happy dance. And when I told Dr. Sabatino, he was walking around the room going, now this is really good news. I'm like, I know it. And then 6 months later, which takes us into the pandemic, I found out right ovarian cyst, gone. It's out of here. So all the rebounding, it was in order to strengthen my immune system, my lymphatic system. I dry brush the skin every day. It did its job. The doctors warned me. They said they had wanted me to have a hysterectomy, and I was like, no. And they were insisting. I fired them. I got other doctors, and doctors who all encourage me. They say to me, I don't know what you're doing, but it's working. And I'm just like, okay, great. Give me my scans and my blood work. I had low B12, high homocysteine. Got told I was a heart attack waiting to happen. I had very low vitamin D, and I was one of the few, Jean, who had low protein. And all of that is absolutely normal. It's just, it's amazing what has happened because of this whole process. But I got to tell you, it's still hard work. Those left cysts are still there. I have a couple of thyroid nodules, but I'll share with you, if this is okay, my background from about 1992. I had gotten diagnosed with manic depression. That's what they called it back then, and Patty Duke kind of made that sort of famous, as she made famous lithium. They put me on lithium for a couple of years. I was then on many psychotropic drugs over the next 25 to 28 years. And my endocrinologist said to me, those thyroid nodules, which are very, very small, by the way, are directly related to the lithium. And I said, wait a minute. I was on lithium for 2 years, 28 years ago. And she said, it's that. I said, so therefore, all of these other masses mostly are endocrine related. Is it possible that you can attribute this to that as well? And she goes,
there's so much we need to learn, yes, about the endocrine system, the thyroid, all of this, it's huge. So you've seen a lot of changes, but what are you most proud of?
Well, I think I'm very, very proud of First of all, my work. I'm so proud of my clients because you want to be inspired by people. These are the people that will get you up and moving. They understand how necessary it is to eat quality food. That some of them went vegan. Some of them are whole food, plant-based, exclusive. And some though they're getting more greens. They understand the importance of resistance work, greens for osteoporosis. I've got some of them are eating, like they call me and say, hey, I bought arugula because they have some heart issues. I'm not getting a gene. Sometimes I get phone calls on speakerphone from the produce aisles in Publix.
What is this?
I'm serious. Okay,
what is this? What do I do with it?
Or I'm buying beans. Now, which beans do I need? Now, you have to understand that everybody can hear it in the aisle. And I'm just hysterical laughing because it's so genuine. So these are people, Jean, with cardiovascular disease, cancers, diabetes, neurological issues, Alzheimer's, dementia. I mean, and yet, if they can't control these aspects of their lives, their families do, their aides do. I've got aides who call me and say, wait a minute, what am I going to put in that smoothie for her so she can, it's really a beautiful experience. They all know sort of about each other and are aware of each other and very supportive. It's like a team. So I'm very proud of that. I'm also proud of, I'm tough. I've gone through a lot and I'm tough and it's okay. And I find that one of my driving factors for weightlifting, why I love it so much, and especially like during the pandemic, teaching all of this virtually and teaching yoga virtually, is that when I put my hand on the metal of a weight, I feel empowered. I really do. And I'm telling you, it helped me during the divorce. I was punching a bag and all that during that process. Anything to use the physical outlet. And I know that this is something that my clients appreciate. And so I'm proud of me for kind of being tough. Yeah, it's my Brooklyn tough. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's amazing how much the body can withstand, it's
God, yeah.
phenomenal, but it gets to a point, and especially if you're using a lot of chemicals. I mean, and I'm very big on chemicals and
right, I know you are.
To get them out of the environment, get them out of what the personal care products we're using. I mean, it's on and on because it's huge. But when you start taking these chemicals, these drugs, they're chemicals and your body has to deal with them, and not in many good ways. So it's tough. So
that's an interesting, I'm sorry. I wanted to make a point of what you were just saying because it's interesting. I live in Miami Beach. You would think we would be environmentally far more advanced. We're not. We have plastics for everything. All my produce, my frozen veggies, everything's coming in all the plastics. Jean, that's one of the reasons why I do infrared saunas like almost every day, is to help pull that out.
No, it's crazy. I mean, we are dealing with plastics, a ton of them, and as much as you can get plastic out of your life, it's going to do you better, because there's a lot of things that are endocrine disruptors, and if you're dealing with chemicals that are endocrine disruptors, do you think you're going to have some problems with your endocrine system? Yeah, I would have to say so. So yeah, what do you think was your most difficult obstacle going plant-based?
Oh, I just think it's actually what I said earlier, as far as, when you're eating someplace and other people want to know and they're curious, I found that to be a big pain in the butt, intrusive sometimes, because sometimes people were just curious, but other times people were commenting, and so the pandemic took care of that, because I don't really go out to eat, and I still don't. So it's really a non-issue. And at this point, because it's so many years later, people who know me accept that. They know this is what's going, this is what is associated with me and how I eat. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, how long did it take you to convert to being plant-based? Was it gradual, or was it like, okay, today's the day?
Well, it was right after when I read the book, Diet for a New America. It was immediate. That went vegetarian. I had also had two bouts, so to speak, 5 years each of being raw vegan,
Wow.
completely 100% raw. Yeah. And that was an amazing experience. But the challenge for me with raw vegan is that there was still pleasure trap stuff involved because there's a lot of high nuts, high seeds, a lot of like stevia sweeteners, and so I would just gorge on this stuff. And at one point I was 42 pounds heavier than I am now, and that was during a low phase in my life. But I did ease out of being raw vegan, and like I said before, eventually finally when I found Chef AJ, not having the stimulation of the salt, the oil, the flour, the alcohol was a non-issue for me, and the sugar made all the difference in the world, and it made it much easier,
Right.
much
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah. Well, I know you're a yoga teacher. How did you get into this? What got you started on this? How does it affect
Okay,
your life?
all right. Well, I started because when I was going through the divorce, I actually fell into eating issues,
Mhm.
binging, purging, anorexia, and it got really bad. So I put myself into yoga rehab, and it was there through the Kundalini yoga that I discovered the healing aspect of this. And I never forgot that, and that drove me to, for years, and now I'm talking over a decade later. It was the year 2000, my beautiful honey bunny passed away, and I had realized there's got to be more in life than, you know, cut abs and ripped biceps and stuff. And I had decided to just kind of practice, do some yoga practice on my own. And then a year later, I moved down here, and this was 2001, right after 9/11. But I was all set and signed up for my yoga teacher training down here. And it was profound. It was profoundly moving for me because my dad passed away during yoga teacher training. Another cat of mine had passed away then too, and so it's a different energy when you want to express. When I wanted to express myself physically, it wasn't about the weights at that point. I needed to be quiet. You can train really hard in yoga as well. And what I love about it is it's meditation in motion. I don't have time to think about crap. I don't have time to think about sad stuff, whatever, none of that. That's how I got into it. And then 2 years later I got certified in prenatal yoga.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, tell us about some lifestyle changes that you would recommend.
Okay, one of the things that I would tell people would be to clean out your house, clean your environment. You know, like Chef AJ would say, if it's in your mouth, I mean, if it's in your house, it's in your mouth, right? And so I tell people, throw out the frankenfoods, throw out the packaged stuff. Another thing that I would do is recommend to people, if you're real brand new to this, to send them to pcrm.org. And
Mhm.
this way they can, which is Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, and they have free programs, as you know, and free recipes. There's a 21-day challenge, and there's also a fantastic video recently in May 2021 with Jean and Dr. Shapiro discussing the pregnancy advantage. It was absolutely fantastic with Chuck Carroll on the exam room. And something else that Dr. Barnard suggests, and that's stuck out to me, was to make a list of whole food plants that you like to eat. What kind of plant foods do you like? And write it out. Maybe banana, apple. You start adding orange. Oh, I like celery. I like, you know what I mean? You might discover that you enjoy plant food more than you realize. When you see it on paper like that, you'll see that it has an influence.
Right. Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely. So,
yeah.
okay, now you're eating the whole food plant-based and you're cooking, 'cause
No,
I do like a hot dish. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
don't cook. I
No,
don't
you don't
cook.
cook?
I don't cook at all. But I figured out how. I know no one believes it. Chef AJ was like, Okay.
What?
Say what? Okay. So remember, I had 2 rounds of 5 years each as a raw vegan. So
Uh-huh.
that never fully left me regarding the importance of raw food.
Okay.
So, because my personal protocol daily is between 4 to 7 hours, that doesn't include work, okay? I don't have a lot of time to do stuff. I moved into my apartment, and like Carrie Bradshaw from Sex and the City, I got rid of the oven. I don't own a microwave, nothing. So, what I do is for years, I thought that frozen veggies, oh, not good for you, not good for you. But I don't know. I hear Dr. Barnard, I hear Dr. Furman, Dr. Greger, I hear all the heavy hitters talking about it's really okay to have frozen veggies, and I only eat organic or based on with the list for EWG. And so what I do now is I'll have a smoothie. The smoothie is all raw, mostly greens, some seeds in it. I don't know if you want the details, but that's the idea. But it's all raw. And that's always going to be my post-workout meal. And then I follow that up. Typically, I love pineapple after that, too. And then when it comes to, I guess you want to call it dinner, what I'll do is I'll take organic frozen veggies, thaw them out, completely thaw them, rinse them. Then I make it like a veggie bowl. It's so good, it's so delicious. So I pack on top, and I'll do like layers. I watch all these cooking programs. I know nothing about cooking, but I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try to be cool with this. And then let me also layer my spices, right? So I'll always have a tablespoon or two of raw, organic, fermented red cabbage sauerkraut. We have a wonderful farmer here he makes this, no salt. So I'm totally, I'm totally compliant. And then I'll add maybe some spring mix and baby spinach and arugula. Some more spices. Let's say we've got the no salt seasoning from Kirkland, and maybe we'll put on some curry on the next layer, and I'll put shavings of beet, asparagus, tomatoes. I'll slap on there some like coleslaw, broccoli slaw, and then we're going to add cumin. Then we're going to have, of course, our ground mustard powder on the broccoli slaw. And then for my topping for that is I will get, it's called Bio Nature, and it is organic, crushed tomatoes, and tomato puree. So it's my version of a marinara sauce, being true to my Italian heritage. It either comes in glass or a BPA-free lined can. And I top it off with that, and I'll add basil, oregano, some granulated garlic. And by the way, this is the one Italian, I can tell you I hate garlic and I hate onion. But I do. I hate it. But the granulated is a nice topping. And then I'll do like beans on the side. I'm not looking to lose weight at all. And I'll have like 10, 11 ounces of beans. I train hard, Jean. I train really hard because I love it and because it keeps me with a calm, stable brain along with the food. Or I'll do the big raw salads that Dr. Goldhammer would be extremely proud of. And lots of veggies, lots of greens. I'm talking, I use a 4-quart bowl. And sometimes I'll plop in the beans into the salad or on the side. And my dressing is typically some apple cider vinegar, and I will juice either an orange or a lime. And I eat very simply. I'll have some more fruit, and that's about how I eat. But I eat such quantity,
I know.
and my weight does not. I mean, it fluctuates like 120 to 123 based, I guess, upon how much glycogen storage I have and all that. But that's about it. It's amazing. It's just amazing. Yeah. And when I go shopping at Costco, the cashier asks me, "All this for you?" I say, "Yeah." I said, "I'm going to be back in another week because I'm going to need to refill."
I know. You can only get greens for about 4 days because they go bad so quickly. So, I'm at the grocery store at least every 4 days. So,
oh my God.
Well, tell us what are three things someone can do to help them jumpstart for somebody who's just listening to this and seeing how they want to change their health. What are three things that they can do?
Well, I'd like them to move. I would like them to get up off the sofa and move. And I don't care how you do it. If you like to go walking, great. If you like to just boogie in your own home and just, that's right, honey, bring it on, and just dance, I want you to do it. Or you can go sparring, right? And just find something that encourages you to get up. If you have to do it with other people, you do it with other people. Incorporate some sort of mindfulness into your life. For me, it's yoga. For others, it might be their religion, right? Some sort of spirituality. It could be connections with other people. For me, look at him. It's a connection with my cat, right? By the way, he's number 8 in my life. That's T for terrific, and he was totally feral. And the other thing that I like to just tell people is start with real food, just wholesome, real plant food.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
those are three amazing suggestions. So thank you so much. And
Thank
thank
you.
you. We have the T back there, who's been the perfect model. I can't believe he was feral because he does not look
I
like,
know.
oh my God, I'm so chilled out,
He is now. It's amazing.
right, right. Well, thank you so much, Angela. It has been a pleasure to hear your story and thank you for sharing.
Thank you for having me, Jean. I appreciate it.